So I hope yesterday we have seen how to launch instance and a bit something. We discussed about MI and EBS volume. Okay, so today we'll jump into a few other concepts. So I think we have completed what are the benefits of this and virtualization also we have done.
Sorry, sorry to trouble
Yes.
you. Are you sharing your screen? I'm not able to see.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'm sharing. Yeah. Can you see? Can you see my
Yes.
screen? Yeah, fine. So, actually, let's talk something about cloud service and deployment models today. So, actually, basically, there are three types of services are there, like models. One is IaaS, second one is PaaS, SaaS. So, infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, software as a service. So, we'll look into it what exactly these type of models are exactly. So, as this a representation, it represents that infrastructure means the basic thing. Here it is taking like a kitchen and vegetables, cooking is a process, then the final product. Okay, so if you see this infrastructure, basic infra, servers and our databases, so required network, everything is our basic infra. Why this infra already we have discussed. This infrastructure is to this is used for development of the product. Okay, what kind of, for example, here it is the platform, it is considered like a Java platform it is. So this is the software installed on top of this infrastructure. So after installing the software, the coding part is going to be there. So after coding, the final product will be there, right? So usually this is the purpose we'll have we require infrastructure for this actually. So after provisioning of infrastructure, we can install something on top of infra, and we can develop the code, and the final product will be available for the end user. Okay, so what about these models? If we talk about the models, for example, infrastructure means everything like from the beginning, from like launching the instances and all. Okay, so if you look into this picture, on premise, how on premise it is there already, we have seen on prem data centers, everything from the scratch we only have to manage each and everything. Okay, so this is what like this only represents like that. So from the beginning, entire data center is going to be managed and operated by uh, our end only. Okay, so if we come to cloud model, cloud service models, already we have seen these three. So how does it work? It is IaaS. IaaS means already we have seen infrastructure as a service. So what do we do? We will start simply just picking our required server, whatever the server we want to provision, we'll simply go ahead and launch that server. So up to virtualization, we don't need to bother about it. Okay. So in the data center is cloud provider only. They will have their own data center, and network part they will take care of, and storage, servers, virtualization, everything they will do that. Okay. What do? We'll simply get into the account, AWS management console. From here we will be starting, right? If I click launch instance, simply it will just start creating an instance for us. That's it. So on top of virtualization, operating system, see, will pick operating system simply. So from this it will start. This is the scope of us. And after that, for if we need database software and security applications, whatever it is, the required things all, we have to just pick and install. This is the scope of us. So this is IaaS model. If we go a bit next move, so there we can see PaaS, platform as a service. There, what it is there means up to security, like everything is there itself. Applications only, just we have to configure and use them. All the scope of this is going to be there at AWS. And for example, let's consider database. Everybody should be familiar with any kind of database, should be at least aware of that. For example, Oracle database or MySQL database, any kind of database is there. What do we do if we want to utilize the database? Initially we need a virtual machine. Okay, a virtual machine will go with any kind of operating system, Linux or Windows or whatever it is. Okay, after installing operating system, we will take a software of any kind of database. Oracle, for example, if we consider Oracle, we need to have Oracle software. So we will install that software in the virtual machine. After installing that, we'll start using, like creating databases, everything like that. But in this case, we don't need to bother about installing the software of databases and all. There is a service called RDS. We will simply go. We'll simply go to RDS. So it will simply, there is an option called create database. So before this, behind this, what happened, that AWS team only usually just be ready with all the softwares, required softwares. If I say create database, so I can select what kind of database is required. This is completely managed by AWS itself. We don't need to bother about it. So that is the reason this service RDS is under PaaS. Okay, PaaS, platform as a service. So just we will simply go ahead and create and start using. That's it. And the last thing is software as a service. This, even we don't need to bother about creation of the applications or creation of the databases. Everything is there. Simply we'll go ahead and log in with our user credentials and start using. That's it. So how, for example, you may use Office 365. Office 365, if I go there, everything is managed by this Microsoft actually. This is Microsoft provided product. So if I go here, I can simply just log in here. I can simply log in and start using. Okay. So in that case, we don't need to bother about the configuration of application or creation of databases or whatever it is. So this is ready made. We simply go ahead and use with our user ID and passwords. So these three service models are available in every cloud, not only AWS or Azure. Every cloud, this is the model we use to say. Okay. Last time I think I remember I told you the deployment models, like this is the service model, this is a deployment model. So deployment models like public cloud and private and hybrid. When it is said to be private cloud, the private cloud means that is internally like connected. For example, there is let's consider IBM. IBM is there. IBM is a very big company. They are maintaining their own data centers. Okay, so that means usually they'll have their own infrastructure. They set up data centers and configure. and share their resources among the branches of IBM. Okay, so in that case, what they will do, they'll simply have interconnect between the branches of IBM. Okay, they'll have the interconnectivity so that they only can access those resources. In that scenario, we can consider that as a private cloud, we can say. Okay, so example they have given. And public cloud means everybody that who has internet access, they can access the public cloud services. Okay, hybrid means the both, combination of public and private. I mean, few companies may use only public cloud, few companies may use only private cloud, few companies may use only like hybrid, like both the clouds they may use. Okay, in that scenario. And let's get into this console and we'll talk about few more services today. Let me launch one instance more. Today we'll look into this clearly. I will say some demo instance. So I launch Ubuntu system today. Here I am keeping it is because I hope yesterday I told you free tire eligible. We can simply check free tire, yeah. Every time you please just keep concentrating on this, which one is free, which one is it costs. We'll see this. So initially we are working with EC2, so we can use this 750 hours per month is not a small amount of time. It's very good amount of time to practice. So we can use this. But once you complete the practice, immediately you have to terminate the instance. If you keep like that, it is going to charge unnecessarily. So yesterday I have created a key pair. I'm using the same. So here, I think up to here we have discussed yesterday, right? Any questions here in AMI or instance type? Yesterday we have discussed, right? Please feel free to ask any questions. Okay, then fine. So key pair already we discussed yesterday. So without key pair we cannot connect. Key pair means in that pair there will be public and private key. So the both keys should be matched for us to get into the server. And here network part. So here network how it is, VPC means VPC is this is also virtual component, that is network. Each network has its ID. This is what, if you want to just change the network, we can change here. So in VPC section, networking session, maybe tomorrow we are going to start this concept. So it may be something confusing. For I mean, if we want to change any network here, we can edit and change that. Okay. So subnets also we'll cover in, as a part of network section only. Here it is the security. So I think you should be aware of firewall. If you don't also, fine, no problem. So here what do we do? Here there are rules. A set of rules will be there inside this security group. Like the rule will allow, or if we add the port, the respective port, for example, I want to I'm browsing google.com. If I want to get this page, here the protocol we are seeing, HTTPS is the protocol. This protocol has the port number is 443. So if I want to open this browser, that particular port number should be whitelisted or like added in this group. So what this group contain, I'll just quickly show you just once it is launched or going forward. So we have discussed about this thing also, storage yesterday. This is only 8 GB. 8 GB is enough for default for this Linux system. This is going to be root value. Okay, if I want to add, I can add some more also, like one more volume also I can add as a secondary value. Okay, in advanced details, there are few things are there. So here spot instance is there, so reserved instances, that types of instances will discuss. So here there is an option called domain chain directory. So I think you should be aware AD services, active directory services. So that will allow us to authenticate. So if the server gets joined there, my server is there in the domain, so I need to use my credentials to log into that. If I want to add this machine to any existing domain, I can select here. As I don't have any directory, it is not showing. I can simply go ahead and create and then use it. So instance profile, that will discuss in IAM section, that is security one. And instance auto recovery, these are the option, like shutdown behavior, so how it should be if we shut down. Like these are the options. If we shut down, only stop is enough, or if we shut down that you want the system to be terminated, like that. All the options we can select actually. So and the important thing here is user data. So user data is the section where, after, for example, I want to launch instance. After launching instance, I want to configure a kind of I want to launch, I want to install some software after launching the instance, or after creating that virtual machine. Only after logging into that we can install anything. Okay, so here we can add the script or something else. Like if I want to configure any web kind of server, I can simply just mention here. So this is the user data, which is very like a important thing. It plays very important role. So without user data, just I'm going ahead and launching instance. So if we see here,
I have a doubt.
yes.
What is, you said we can add volumes, right? What is that volume and domain and what are whips?
Uh, who is that?
This is Rajya Lakshmi. I think I joined
Yeah,
today itself.
yeah, Rajalakshmi. Yeah, please tell me. I didn't get your question.
What you said we can select volumes, right? What is that volume and what
Okay.
is the domain? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, what are the
Domain services, that is actually some advanced concept that we'll discuss. No issues. So that is actually there is a central server that will allow entire network to authenticate. Okay, if just we open the system, it will prompt for
mm-hmm.
username and password. So that means if that is there in the domain, that will discuss, no issues. And the
Okay,
volume
okay.
part yesterday we discussed, that is
Oh,
nothing but a
okay.
storage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. What are whips? I mean, I'm hearing them newly. I don't know if everybody knows or not.
What?
Whips, you mentioned whips in the user data.
Hmm.
what is that whip? I'm hearing it first time.
VIP. I'm also hearing first time. You
No,
use the
no,
data. What
you
is?
yeah, you just mentioned whips, so I don't know.
Okay, maybe user data. Actually, user data is a section I said. So there we can add a few commands to install any required softwares after launching
Right,
that
like
instance.
restarting. Okay, okay,
Hmm.
So,
okay.
You better, there are recording sessions available. Just
Mm-hmm.
please refer them. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Srinivas, one more question. So, for the user data, right, if you can just give one example, like what kind of things we can add there.
Okay. So, for example, just as I said, I want to install web server. I can simply add a command like uh, sudo apt get install httpd something or Apache, like whatever I mean commands we can specify there.
Okay, so that means when we launch the instance, it actually launches the web server also if you give that command.
Exactly, exactly. So once the system gets booted up, like then after that, that will start installing the packages which were specified in the user data.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So that means like for example, n number of servers are there. We want to install a few packages like if, let's consider web only. So going manually to each and every server and installing that is going to be a very headache kind of thing. So user data helps us to fulfill that requirement. Okay. So and where are we? Yeah. If we go to security, just I want to just clarify regarding the firewall things. This is very important. So I showed you right security group under network. Under network I showed you security. So I have selected default security group which has the rules like 0.0.0.0/0 means entire network. So throughout the world, like we can access this means so entire network we are allowing, so all port ranges, all protocols. After just adding this rule, these are not required actually. I think for any kind of demo I like I might have added these rules, but this is not required if I added all and all. Okay, I'll go to security group. I can simply edit. Okay, I'll do one thing. Uh, I'll I'll delete all the rules. So nothing is allowed here now. Nothing is there. We'll try to log into this. So there is an public IP. These variations also will clearly discuss in our networking session. So there is, I think I have shown you yesterday Windows Server connectivity, right? So if we want to connect to any of Linux servers, we need to have SSH client. This is one of a tool called Putty. So we'll simply give this. I think I need to convert the key as well. I'll explain. Just don't worry about it. Region I have or not. Downloads. This is the key I have downloaded. For accessing via this terminal, just I need to convert this key. So I'll save as private key. So PPK format is required for this. So I'll say Demo key ppk downloads only, it is there. I'm closing, and here in ssh section, authenticate, and demo key is there. I'm adding here, and I'm trying to open it. It doesn't, because there are no rules in the security group. So there are no rules. That is the reason it is not allowing network error, connection timed out. So it's not possible. If I add the rule, edit inbound rule. So what is the rule required for me to log into the system via terminal? So if that is Linux system, via this SSH port, SSH port we need to know. That port is 22. SSH port is 22. If you don't know, you can simply search SSH port. You ask Google, it will say 22 port. So what do we do? We'll simply go to security group again. I'll open once again. So I'm in security group in EC2 instance, network and security groups. This is the default security group. I open the security group, edit inbound rules. Inbound means inside to the server. One more rule is also there, outbound rule, that we'll talk about later. So if I want to get into the server, I need to add our rule into inbound actually. So here add rule. Okay. What can I say here? Here I can select directly SSH, right? So it will automatically pick the port number and the source from where I am trying to access. So if I say like all zeros from everywhere, we can rules with source allow IP access instance. So this is like prompting, like we are allowing this from everywhere. Throughout the world we can access this, it means. Otherwise we can restrict to a particular IP. So what is my IP? If I search for that, we'll see whether it gives. Yes, so it is giving my IP, public IP. Public IP only needed because private IP it doesn't recognize. So if I take this, simply I can select and save rule. I only can able to just log in because my IP only got whitelisted. Again I'm not just restarting the section. See, it is accepting. If I say, if I give the username Ubuntu, it will allow. Okay, it will allow me to like log into the terminal, the box. So I'm in Ubuntu Linux box. Okay, so this is the one. For example, if I remove this, anyway, as you have seen, it doesn't allow. Instead of this, I can add entire network. Then also it is fine. No issues for that. Okay, I'll duplicate the section. Yeah, it is allowing me. That's it. So this is for Linux terminal, that to SSH service via SSH only. I am trying to connect to this machine, this box. So 22 port is required. For example, I want to like ping. I want to have, for example, I'll install here sudo apt update. Will update this first. Don't bother about the commands, you have to learn, but the basic commands I will just show you. but you need to just take the reference from the Google and need to learn few commands, Linux commands. Sudo apt install Apache. I'll install Apache 2. Apache is the package for installing web server. Come on, yeah. So now web server got launched. If I take its public IP address, if I go to the browser, try to browse it, it doesn't allow us. Anybody have any idea why it is not happening? It should like open. It should open any kind of web page, but it is not.
We need
That is
to
because,
allow
yeah,
HTTPS.
yes, very good. So this actually HTTPS means actually it is not secure. HTTP is enough. We'll see. So HTTP is
Mm,
not allowed here. That is the reason it is not showing. So I am adding HTTP as well for complete network. Save rules. If I refresh the same, we'll see. Yes, I got it. Understood? So this is not the secure one. That is the reason 80 port 80 needs to be opened here. That is the reason port 80 opened. 80 for the complete network. So if I give you this IP to you, you can also be able to access the same page. I'm giving you the public IP. Try to access from your end. You will see the same page. So if I want to restrict to any particular IP, I can restrict here. So that is the reason security group like this will give very important. Actually, just I remember last month only 20 days back there was an issue happened. So as a part of troubleshooting, my teammate was working with the security group. He simply added a rule with this source actually. So entire this is not supposed to be there in the real time actually. So for practice purpose only, we are using this. This is very dangerous. How dangerous, I'll tell you. So if I add this source with a particular port, what happened? He did something like he was trying to troubleshoot something. Application was not working. Why it is not working? Then he started troubleshooting. He simply added this and tested, then removed that. But with that time, I think that is for only 30 to 40 seconds hardly. After that, he removed, actually added and removed. What happened means nearly it was completely airlines. That product was airline product based company. So major critical application got down for nearly 20 minutes with this action. What happened then? So from the world, throughout the world, within that short period of time, so much of traffic was there on that particular application server. That is the reason that server was hanged. So the flight ticket bookings got disturbed for 20 minutes throughout the world with this simple activity, single activity. So we have to be very careful on this. So if we allow or disallow anything was there, so we can see so multiple number of ports in that security group. So according to the requirement only, consciously we have to just do it. It looks like very simple. The simple thing only will uh, make us to leave the company. Even that person is no more in our team. So
Srinivas, so this happened
yeah,
in the production, right? So is
yes,
there
yes, but
any So let's see, dev and QA or UAT, we should be fine. Even there will be some problem, we should be able to manage. But is there
Correct.
a way that, so it's only the whoever is working on that, their responsibility to take care of all these things in production. There is no other way to control these things, right?
Correct. 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 Correct.
Okay. Because
So,
usually we replicate whatever we have in dev and UAT to production, right? Whatever the rules, whatever the settings we have. But here in
mhm.
this case, if we do a mistake in dev, we still have a chance to correct in product because we do redo everything in production environment. Is that a correct
Yeah, yeah.
statement?
Correct, correct. Till non-prod, that is, I mean, pre-production, till pre-production, whatever the environments are there, there we can do that also, like restricted, that is going to be
Right,
there in our like internal like teams and all. But this production is going to be public, right?
right, right.
So
Yeah,
in
but there
that
is nothing
situation,
like you put a rules and automate it. It's the developer's responsibility to take care of all these things when he's doing in the production systems.
yeah, actually, developers doesn't touch this. Only DevOps and cloud operation teams, they will take care of this.
Okay, but it's their responsibility. It's not like something you put it somewhere rules and then automate it, and that option is not there.
Yeah, yeah. So for adding and deletion and addition also, there are so many approvals needed
Hmm.
actually. So
Okay, okay. So they
security
can
team
go
is
and
going to be there.
it's not it's not that I'll just directly go. Let's say I'm a DevOps engineer and I have access to all production. I cannot simply directly go and do all these things. I need to get all the
Mm.
approvals, then only I should be able to do it.
Correct, correct, correct. Without security approval, we cannot go ahead and do it.
Okay. So there is some
So
check, but again, it's that the cloud engineer or the DevOps engineer is completely responsible to add or delete or understand all these things and do.
correct, correct.
Okay. Got it.
So we are going to have like internal all the records or SOPs will be there. So what are eligible for the open or allow or disallow, everything is there. So if any concern is there, security team is going to be there from customer end. So we have to like contact customer, and we need to contact them over the mails and have the approval. After getting the proper approval only, we are supposed to implement these kind of tasks from our end. Okay, so security group is like this. So this is very, very important. You should not forget about it. And you can have trials. If you launch any instance, if the port, I think by default that is not there. By default, if you go ahead and launch any instance, by default you will not be having the security group allowed the traffic on the network. Anybody tried, created account and launched instance and tried to log into this? I think, yeah, I think here also I have added something. Okay, so this is what. Okay, these are all the reasons. We can switch to the respective reason, whatever the reason we want to use, we can use. That is not an issue. Same, wherever we are, the same things we can see. Usually, the first region is going to be North Virginia. So we are in the North Virginia. Okay. So we have installed this web server, right? So we have installed this. Where it is? Yeah, we have installed this web server. So this thing we can get it via user data. Already I discussed, right? So in the user data section, if we add this command, if we simply say this, whatever the command it is there, yeah, this command we can say after update, it should install this thing, apt install apache 2, it will do that. That's it. So there are in real time so many scripts will be there in user data. to join the domain or any kind of like a particular based on the requirement, the scripts will be there. We'll simply go ahead and use the scripts as a part of user data section. So that is what about today's session. Do we have any further questions?
So Srinivas, will you touch the topic of IAM
Yes,
today
yes.
or tomorrow?
No, no, no. Actually, we'll have some time. Tomorrow, I'm planning to start the networking part.
Okay.
But if you don't practice, then it is going to be very difficult, even for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So just please practice today and try to make it done. And those who are facing issues with the creation of accounts, you can simply contact Amazon customer care, so they'll guide you. Otherwise, any kind of this is very simple actually, and there is no much thing here. I don't know why you're facing. Create account. So root email, I think almost all I have. Anybody's mail ID, please.